Thank you for being here. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading for what is holding you back. Yeah, let's find out what's holding you back. Maybe it's in a relationship, maybe it's commitment, maybe it's something to do with work. We're going to find out now. So we have these 4 cards. They kind of all look the same. That's sort of the point. I just want you to pick the one that speaks to you the most, and yeah, don't overthink it. I'm going to zoom in on them for you, and I'll just tell you we have Jade, Chrysocolla, Malachite, and Epidote. So go ahead and please pick the card that you like the most, the prettiest one, the ugliest one, whatever you want to pick. And that's going to be your reading, and then you can jump to the timestamp below. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you shortly. Bye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. It is an honor, and I'm excited to get into it. We are doing a reading today for what is holding you back, and we're going to find out what this even pertains to. I'm just going to let the cards reveal themselves and get our messages from Spirit and see what's holding you back. You picked Jade, beautiful, lovely Jade. So here you are. Here's your reading, and I want to see... Sometimes I've been enjoying starting with the question, just straight out the gates, what is holding you back? And then I want to find out what it's pertaining to. So I'm going to ask Spirit in 3 cards, what is holding you back? I'll get kind of an idea of why you're here and what's going on with you. Okay, so we have Temperance, Knight of Cups, goodness. Okay, and the Wheel of Fortune. So with Temperance, Knight of Cups, and Wheel of Fortune, just right out of the gates, I would say, okay, I think you feel, let's say, you know, and I always start slow and then things get a little more quick, so give me a couple minutes. I feel like things are out of whack. Things are probably out of your control. And I get that with the Wheel of Fortune and the Temperance. The Knight of Cups for me can be that maybe this makes you feel like you're a little bit, I don't want to say out of your league, but just a little uncomfortable. And emotionally, you're just not even sure. Like this could be anything from feeling like there's this kind of imposter syndrome happening, or you're just, I don't want to say scared necessarily, just unsure. So I actually get this kind of this lack of confidence, and I don't know, maybe like you're questioning everything from is this the right time to is this the right person, place, opportunity, whatever this relates to, I'm not sure. And that's where I'm going to ask the next set of cards and try to figure out like, where is this? And then I can drill down a little bit better and read these cards. But it's something to make me think that like you feel a little bit like you're just on shaky ground. There's an unknown. You don't know how or where to strike a balance, and you almost... There's like this too much is left up to fate. Anyway, none of that made much sense. So let's get some more cards so I can pinpoint what this pertains to in your life, and we're gonna find out what's holding you back. And usually these readings, like I said, they take a minute, so bear with me. Okay, we're gonna find out. Okay. So I see this 7 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Knight of Swords. So the Lovers card to me, okay, because I asked for sort of like a relevance here, I do think this has to do with something romantic, and I actually do think this has to do with a partner who is wanting a lot of you pretty quickly. I think you're here because someone's, I don't want to say pushing you, and pushing you isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, pushing does sound like a bad thing, but I think someone wants something of you, whether it's like you're in this relationship that's kind of, I don't know, let's say hot and heavy, and this person now wants like a commitment. They want to move in, they want to buy a house together, they want to put a ring on your finger, whatever. I just feel like there's some things happening quickly, and you really aren't exactly sure, how you even feel about this person. And if you even think this is the right time, the right place, the right like time in your life, like just from a big like life picture, are you even at the right time where you would want to make this big of a decision concerning love? And it does make me think that this one person is kind of rushing in a little bit, and you know, maybe they're not, maybe I mean, for them, maybe they're not. Maybe they don't think they're rushing in, or maybe they're like, yes, I know I'm rushing in, but this is how I feel. But I really do think that you're being held to this kind of like, it's what happens depends on you right now. It's your choice. The other person has kind of stated their claim, made themselves clear, and now it's up to you. And that is a funny feeling, because it feels like if you say no, all bets are off, and if you say yes, then all of a sudden you're like doing this one thing that might not even have been your idea to begin with. So I do think that there's someone in your life that you probably really care about. You are very likely like linked up with this person romantically in one way or another, and I think they're asking something of you. I want to see a little bit more about this other person, because to me, I want to see them. Like, I want to see if there's like a pressure here, or just who are they? And I'm going to put them on the right, and then I'll get you on the left. So 10 of Wands, the Devil, and the Fool. Okay, so the 10 of Wands it's not a great card. It's kind of it's a card of definitely a burden. It might be the card of like, you've worked so hard, you're almost right to the end. It is the card to tell you you're almost right to the end, which would imply that very good things are here to come. But there's like this one last hurdle. It's not a bad card, it's not a good card, but it's just, if I had to leave more to like, if this card came up in my life, and I would probably, okay, anyway, forget all the stuff I said. Okay, we have the Devil and the Fool. So you're this person that's almost pressuring you. I'm not saying they're the devil, because I'm not getting this like incredibly nasty feeling from them, but I am getting a feeling that when I see the Devil card, usually I just see it as someone who's manipulative. And that level of manipulation, I'm not trying to figure out if I think they're like truly demonic, or if I think they're just, ever so slightly toxic, or I'm not trying to look at the level of like deceit and manipulation they're capable of. I just see manipulation. And that's really all I want to see for the sake of this reading. But yes, I do think this person's manipulative. And I do think that one of their tactics is they might act like very sweet and innocent and just fun and jovial, when really they have a lot more edge to them. And usually I feel like an edge is kind of like a sexy, fun quality, but in this case I think it's like there's a little bit more of a sort of razor sharp. They're jagged, and I don't love that for you. And then to see the pressure here, and I really think you feel pressured. I feel like you're almost like kind of underwater, like you just don't really know what to do, and you almost feel suffocated. So I want to see how you're feeling, and then we will find out what's holding you back. And right now I can say what's holding you back is the fact that just flat out you feel pressured, and you feel pressured by someone that you probably can't even put your finger on. I think what attracted you to this person in the beginning was probably that they were so like sweet and easy and fun and lighthearted, and then you did start to see this more kind of intensity come off of them, and now it almost feels like this relationship almost feels like work. And I think the kind of work that it feels like is work to not say the wrong thing, almost to like not piss this person off, to not just to like, I feel like it takes work to understand them. In the beginning, it was very easy. It was just about having fun. But now you find that they're a little more easily triggered, or they're a little more temperamental or reactive than they were in the beginning. And that generally can be the sign of someone who is fairly toxic. And I think that can come along with some manipulation. So I don't know that your person is really a horrible person, or that you shouldn't be with them. I just think that for whatever reason, they've really kicked up this wanting something of you. And even this, whatever they're wanting, it might just be more of you, more of your time, like a commitment in the sense of like time and energy, and like just asking more of you, more of your presence. And that can be hard. And that's like the kind of thing where you can't even put your finger on if they ever asked you to spend 5 nights a week at their house, but now you're kind of doing it, and you feel like you're in this, almost like this rut or this pattern, and maybe you want to pull back, or maybe they did make it very clear and they put it on the table, like, this is what I want from you. Let's do this. We should be doing this. But I don't know that I'm getting like all this emotion behind it. I do think this is someone that things could have started out, like I said, very hot and heavy, and they just kind of disintegrated pretty quickly. And that was when things started out, you had more of the Fool here, and now you've got a little bit more of this, devilish character. And this is the person now in this kind of dynamic of love and relationships that you're really left with. So I just don't see, I don't see that you're incredibly happy, and that is probably what's holding you back. I want to see you right now in a few cards. So, okay, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Funny, because I thought we had the Seven of Pentacles. We did. The Magician. And the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the Eight of Pentacles is, I do think you're starting to see things a little more clearly. I think you're starting to like manipulate your facts and information. You're not as blind, and you're kind of using the tools that you have. In other words, like if this person says something, you're going to scrutinize it for a lie. I think you're getting just more savvy. Let's put it that way. And and with that, I do think that you are showing even yourself, like new sides of yourself throughout this. And I don't even know that in some ways that it's good to know you have these abilities, but this probably isn't the relationship that I think it turned into something that you didn't necessarily think it was going to turn into. And as far as the Queen of Cups goes, I think you're a little more emotional than you'd like to be, than you would want to be. Sorry, I keep saying because when I made this topic, what is holding you back, I wasn't necessarily, anything was on the table, but I didn't think it would be so specifically about like a relationship. And now I see that in this reading it is, and I hope it tracks, but I do think that's what's holding you back. And this can kind of like work its way into so many other parts of your life. Maybe it's affecting your work, and maybe it's holding you back from, I don't know, going all in at work in one aspect or another. Maybe this is just really kind of eating at you because this is someone that you really cared for and really trusted. And now I get the feeling that you're almost left contemplating who this person is and the effect they're having on you. And I see that with the Queen of Cups. That is kind of the message here. Like you're really analyzing your emotions, and you're starting to feel things like you're getting some insight here. You're starting to see and feel things very clearly. Like the waters aren't necessarily muddied for you. You kind of know yourself, you know where you are. You're very confident and secure in what you're feeling. And I just think there's a bit of an ick factor here. And I think that's what's holding you back. And I would say in that case, you would absolutely have to go with your gut. And then I just want to do another line here because what is your gut telling you? I want to see what your gut is telling you about this. Because if something's holding you back, I want to kind of get into your head a little bit. So we've got the Four of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Four of Wands to me is like, it is a card of, it's kind of like that loved up ceremony, that feeling that like, that it would be a card to be like, oh, this is your person, and there's hope and opportunity here. And I think that maybe this is what you felt for this person in the beginning. Like there's probably some sadness associated with all this, although I don't see a lot of sadness on the table. I see more of this like matter of fact, like you are just very aware of how you're feeling. And I don't know that it's really affecting you in a way that's making you sad right now. It might. And the Queen of Pentacles, I think, is here to kind of bring home the fact that, yes, you really did see a partner in this person, a partnership. I think that you thought at one point that this could be your person. And the Hierophant is, I don't know, I could see this as either people warned you against this person and you ignored it because there was a time when you very much thought this was potentially your person, but it makes me think that there were warnings or there were red flags that you really did ignore. And you've almost, I could see that you're not mad at yourself, but there's a part of you that's like, oh goodness, moving forward, I will not ignore those. I will not just ignore those signs. And I I feel like with Temperance, it's like you really went all in with this person in the beginning because you did, and you wanted it. You wanted this to work out. There was something when you guys did your thing and they came on so strong and you were so into it and it was so exciting and fun. And you were just so happy, both of you. And there was like, and that, that could have been real, even if this person is not someone you necessarily want to like deal with on the day to day or be involved with. It doesn't mean that it wasn't genuine in that moment. But if this is the kind of like personality type that I think we might be dealing with, they can be very manipulative, and they always have this game plan. They always know where things are going. They always have it mapped out in their head. And so these are like stages that they work through this kind of control. And they probably always start with this like lighthearted, fun, I'm all in, things are great. They probably always have people ignore the red flags. They probably always have people give up certain things that they love to spend more time with them, and not vice versa, but they're probably used to seeing exactly the way things went down with you guys. And I know that's not something that's going to make you feel any better, but this is the picture I'm getting of why you might be here and what would be holding you back. And so I would say, if I had to really put something on it, I would say you're being held back because you do feel that this person is probably toxic and manipulative and potentially really not the person you thought they were. And I like these cards a lot. They are kind of these like personality cards to me. And I'm going to put down one that's you and one that's them. And there are not any really horrible cards in here, so they're not going to come up as like a demon in these cards, but it'll just be a little bit more of like maybe what drew you to them, or like we'll see. But this is you in a card right now, and then we'll do them in a card. Okay, so for you, we've got the moon, darkness, and I do see this as like you are somewhat in the dark. There's this kind of mystery. You're dealing with this like almost unknown, and this card really says it all. It's it's someone who's like they're either protecting their heart is wounded, they're definitely like giving a protection to that part of their body, and they feel, if anything now, they're being a little more closed off, which would be essentially you holding back. And there's just that the light's behind them, but it's darkness ahead. They just can't quite see the way, and almost like you're blindfolded. So this could be you. This would very much be someone that is being held back for so many different reasons. Not only can they not see, but they don't even want to feel everything that they were feeling. They want to actually probably use other senses to figure out what direction to go, because your heart got you into this mess. Okay, and then for your person, this is the beginnings and East. And so the East is a place typically that people would go to like explore. It holds all the mysteries. The East was like back in the day, that was where the Orient was, and everything was this beautiful, exotic mystery. And the East is, the sun rises in the East, and it's this place of new creation, new beginnings, new everything. And I do think that your person is probably someone who's always seeking this new kind of excitement, everything new, everything shiny, everything all over again. Very much that new beginnings. And I don't know that I see them with someone else, or I see them cheating on you, but this to me could be a card, or this message comes through where it's like they're always going to find inspiration. They're going to find it anywhere, because that's what they do. Yeah, and again, feel free to leave me a message if this is so totally not the right reading that you landed on, because that's not impossible. That can happen. These are 4 decks and an infinite number of possibilities. So, or 4 cards. Anyway, this is the reading, and it's not the most amazing reading, but I want to see you strong, and I'm going to get a card about you. So what you can kind of do to like help yourself. What energy can you activate? We can even call it like a chakra. Like what's here for you to just deal with this right now and make it better. So we've got comfort, not necessarily a chakra, but and creativity. So if I had to, the comfort, I don't know. This is, to me, I would say seek comfort in your friends, turn to your friends, really allow yourself to feel like just the beauty and the protection of your friends, your family, other people who love you. So I do feel like if you're feeling alone or, I don't know, scared, confused, whatever, I would say really seek out what actually truly comforts you and go there. So don't do this on your own, and don't, just don't suffer through this. You really, I mean, well, you could obviously suffer any way you want, but you don't necessarily have to. I do think that there's people here for you. And this creativity, I think that if you can start doing something that really ignites you and lights you up and makes you feel excited and like warm and fuzzy without, this has nothing to do with someone else. This is sort of like a creative outlet. I think this would be very, very healthy and good for you right now. And who knows, maybe this last card, maybe this whole relationship has ultimately held you back from some kind of like creative endeavor or something you've been wanting to work on, something you've been wanting to give time and attention to, that does spark that kind of creative nature that you have. And if that's the case, then yes, get back to that. And I think you will move on a lot quicker than you think you will. Because again, even though I do get that you're hurt, I think more than anything, you're just kind of confused. And maybe that's why I was kind of confused in the beginning, because this is so much a reading of love. It comes out that way. But the question isn't like what's holding you back in love. It's just what's holding you back. And I feel like what's holding you back is the wool got pulled over your eyes, and it happened pretty quickly. And I feel like it happened in a way where you didn't even know if you liked this person that much. Like you didn't even know if you were all in, and now like there's a pressure to be all in, or all of a sudden you are all in, and it's like no one even asked you about it, or it's just here in front of you, and now it's with someone that you genuinely can't pinpoint, can't put your finger on, but probably don't have the warmest and fuzziest feeling for. So that's kind of how I see this reading. And this is it's a lot of cards to convey a very, very specific message. And in some ways, I hope it doesn't actually call to you, because it's not great. But if you're here, I think you're going to be absolutely fine. I don't think your heart is going to be shattered into a million pieces. There's nothing here to make me think that. I think you're very strong, and just have some fun. Ignite that, creative side of your brain. I think it's the right side of your brain. I always thought it was the left, and I actually think it's the right side. So yes, turn on that right side of your brain, and just enjoy yourself. And kiss this ick goodbye. So anyway, thank you so much for being here and listening. If any of this tracked, please like, subscribe, share, do whatever feels good. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. I'm always honored to be doing this and having you listening. So thank you very much. We are doing a reading for what is holding you back. And this can be in regards to a relationship. The last reading was all about what's holding you back in this relationship. But yeah, we'll find out what aspect of your life this pertains to and what exactly is holding you back. So Chrysocolla, I don't know, Florida, Pensacola. That's what this reminds me of. This is your card. This is your reading. And here we go. I am going to ask first. I'm going to ask what's holding you back, and then I'm going to find out like what it's pertaining to. So I'm going to try that approach. It worked pretty good on the last reading. So what is holding you back? Okay. We've got the Moon. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, and then we have the Queen of Swords. Okay. So the Moon to me is automatically that feeling of like somehow it is a feeling of being in the dark, but that's not always the interpretation I want to give to it. So let me just look at this for a second. Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. I feel like, I don't know, I get the feeling this has to do with work somehow. And there's something about the Seven of Pentacles, like, okay, I do feel like you're working. I almost feel like there's something unfair or unjust maybe happening in regards to work or money or earnings or a project. I'm going to go into this next line and see if I think this is about work or a relationship before I speak too much on this. And let me see here. Let me get like what part of your life this pertains to. But the swords. Oh, interesting. Okay. So now I'm feeling like there was definitely some kind of a betrayal, and I'm going to stick with the work aspect of this. Or something to do in your professional life or your career. And this could be like, I don't know, this could be anything from asking for a raise to actually like starting something on your own, or like leaving your job to do something on your own. But there's something that I almost feel like this is like, this brokenhearted card makes me think that there's someone like a parent, or maybe like a spouse, or someone that you're close to, that you have a lot of respect for, that you have a great or a relationship with. I don't know if you have a great relationship with this person, but that person is like just kind of almost giving you this negative energy. And I do think it's someone that you generally like respect and kind of look up to and listen to, but for whatever reason, they're just not really serving you in this department. And I think that they're making you like doubt yourself or question yourself. It is someone that is being almost spiteful, and I don't know why they're being spiteful, because I really do think this person loves you and cares for you. I don't think they're evil or malicious or toxic or anything like that, but there's just something like that you really want, and the input of others or the direction of others is kind of like holding you back. And I actually think you're right. You're kind of on the brink of making this happen. And again, I don't know if this is something like you're on the brink of turning in your notice and leaving your career to start something else, or if that's the case, maybe you also have this other sort of project or venture like lined up somehow. But I do think that you're very close to making this happen. And I do even think that a part of you is like, look, I'm just going to say, fuck it, I'm doing this whether I want to or not. Although it would be very nice to have the support of this person, whoever that is. But I don't think this is something you're sharing with the world just yet. This is, it's something you really want, though. There's a lot of, even though these cards aren't really denoting a passion, I'm not getting this overwhelming like passion. I can feel that this is something you really want. I think it's something you've been thinking about and like meditating on for quite a while. It's an idea you've had for a very long time. But I think you're gonna really like have to separate the emotional piece from others and just really, really do what serves you. And I get the feeling you might jump into this fairly quickly once you kind of decide to like trim the fat here a little bit and do your own thing and do what serves you. And you know what you want. That's what I like here. I don't think you're being held back because you don't know what direction to turn or you don't know what to do. I think you're very clear about what you want, and I think you've put a lot into motion. You're close to doing it, whatever that is. But I have a feeling what you want to do is kind of big. There will be many steps to this. It's a process. It's not like one and done. There's, maybe you have like the first 3 of 30 boxes checked, but maybe those are some of the hardest and the longest and the most grueling. But yeah, the hurdle really for you right now is just overcoming this, almost like this, it feels like spitefulness, but I don't think it's spite. I think it really does come from a place of love and protection, but you are going to have to speak up. And I want to just see a little bit about the energy or the people that are, I think, holding you back, because that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And I do think these people, or this person, I'll just say person, people, I'll use it interchangeably. If it's people, I think it's like your parents or this, that kind of like a unit. But I do think they're protecting you, and I do think they probably see you as someone who is maybe not as capable as you actually are. Maybe they see you as like kind of the youngest child, the baby, or maybe just someone who's very innocent and sweet, when in fact you really aren't that. That's not really who you are. It's how they've seen you or how they've perceived you, but it's not your whole thing. You're very capable, and you've learned a lot. You've come a long way. And I'm sure they know that, but they're kind of stuck on this like one-dimensional view of you. And I think you're a lot more astute and capable than they realize. And I really am seeing that in this last line here. It actually, this last line, like, it frustrates me because it makes me think of someone who is it's like, I don't know, it so totally has that parent vibe of someone who just is protecting you, or even like belittling or downplaying the things that you want or need, or are so passionate about, and they're just not seeing it. And I'm sure ultimately they will see it, but I feel like they're applying a lot of their own kind of like prejudice and other worries that might have been relevant in the time that they were your age 50, 60 years ago. But now it's like, oh my goodness, times have changed. Things are very, very different. And, you know, starting a business on your own at whatever age or with that whatever amount of money is totally okay. Or I don't know, I'm just seeing that they are trying to protect you, but it's coming out wrong. And yes, this is in turn holding you back. And I really don't want it to, because ultimately they will respect you even more for, you know, for doing what you have to do and doing it very well, which I'm sure you will. But yes, others essentially are holding you back, the input, the opinion, the downplaying, whatever it is. And so this line, I'm just going to see, I want to see you kind of your, like who you are right now in this. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. We're just all over the place here. So when I see Six of Pentacles, I do see someone who's very kind, generous, giving, sort of, I don't know, just altruistic, loving, whatever. Just a good person, a good energy. And I don't think you get that way if you are careless with your money. So I would also say that I see you as being not careless, being responsible, and probably you've acquired a bit of a savings, I would even say. Like, I just think that you have done a lot of things right, and you've made a lot of the right decisions. And the Nine of Swords, I think you've worked hard to do this. You've worked very hard. Much harder than whoever it is that's second guessing you even realizes. You know, they haven't been there all the nights you've worked incredibly late or around the clock, or how much studying and effort and whatever you've put into getting where you are in whatever career or capacity. So I definitely think that they're missing a big chunk of who you are. And I think most parents do. So, you know, don't let it get to you. But you have a lot already. And I love that the Ten of Cups card came up, because this does tell me that you have a very fulfilled life. And I do think your family is a part of this. I think you're very close with your family. So this one person, it's not like you are going to always have this kind of tumultuous relationship with them. I think that this is just a kind of in the moment right now you're feeling this, and these things are coming to a head, and they probably do want to stop you from doing something that could, you know, affect the rest of your life, but you aren't worried about that. You want to jump in, you want to do this, you want to have fun, you want to make money, you want to be successful, whatever it is. So more power to you, and don't let this other person hold you back. But it's a lot easier said than done. So let's get some cards onto like what you could do. I don't know, like input from Spirit. What is Spirit? What's some guidance that she wants to give you here? Okay, Justice. Queen of Cups, and Death. Okay, so death does not mean death. I just have to put that out there, because when I do my readings, it never means death. Like, so it doesn't even matter the context. It just never means that. So it means to me endings and new beginnings. So, okay, Justice. It's funny, because there was a time during here where I thought, like, maybe you're an attorney and you want to start your own practice, or you want to go off and do something totally different. And to see the scales is kind of funny, but the chances of, you know, everyone watching this being an attorney and wanting to go off on their own is very slim. But there is something here. Okay, so this is advice from Spirit, and I would say that you do have to be very judicious. I mean, you do have to make sure that you have quite literally weighed all your options, that you know what you're doing, you're not jumping in, and that you're not doing anything for the wrong reasons. Like, you aren't doing this because you always said at this point in your life you would be doing this. Like, you just really want to make sure that this is truly what you want and need. But I believe that it is. Like, that's almost a you know, that's almost redundant, because I think you're here because you very much know this is what you need to do. And I think you feel it with like every ounce of your being right now. It is a very big thing for you. But I guess what I'm getting from this card, it's a sense of like, don't just do the right thing here, and don't allow yourself to maybe like fall to this other person's level. Don't become spiteful. Don't become, I don't know, like just cut this person a little bit of slack. Just go easy on them. And I don't really think that's the meaning behind the card necessarily, but I do think that it'll pay off for you later if you're very kind and tolerant and patient now. And I guess that's the message from Spirit, that you don't have to do anything you would regret later, because there will be a time when maybe you might need something from this person. And it just makes sense to be very careful right now in how you handle these situations. And Queen of Cups, I think it is making you emotional. I think the other person's emotional. But I think the emotions stem from a very good place, and a place of love, and like just that true earnestly wanting the other person to be happy and successful and do the right thing. And I'm just getting love behind it. And I think the Death card is, it's almost like the advice from Spirit is, this person just wants to protect you. They don't want you to lose anything. They don't want you to cut off any part of your life that you might regret cutting off. And I hope that, I know it makes sense. I know you understand my words, but I guess I hope that tracks, because this is the input from Spirit. And it is a message here to be kind, to be aware of what other people are feeling and thinking. You're emotional, they're emotional, and to just kind of really take that in stride and not do anything you regret, and really understand that these people they're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect you from all the horrible things and all the pain and suffering that could come about if this went wrong. And by pain and suffering, this is relative. You're not going... it can be very painful and suffering to not have the money that you once had, not have the funds, to have to borrow money, to have to downsize in so many different ways, to have to eat mac and cheese from a box for 3 weeks, whatever it is. These are, relatively speaking, these are things that are hard. And who knows, maybe you'll lose some social connections and circles and things that, you probably worked hard to get them at some point. So I just feel like there's this message of just tread carefully and really, really weigh your options. Be very judicious in what you do, what you say, how you handle it. And just acknowledge that people love you and they are emotional and they really, really just don't want to see you suffer. And, okay. So I kind of want to see you right now, and I want to see you when you do this thing you want to do. So let's kind of get you now and you in the future. And these are, I think we're going to see a real positive message here. So I want to see you right now, your pressure, transformation, and then the future you is silence and snow. So the pressure, the transformation makes a lot of sense to me right now. I do think you probably feel like you're in this little pressure box. You probably feel like everything is just closing in around you. You want this so bad, and people are pushing on you and telling you no, and you want to be done with it. And I feel like you feel very, very, very boxed in right now. And I get the pressure thing. The silence and the snow to me is a little, it feels almost anticlimactic. If you get the thing you want, why wouldn't silence and snow be a good thing? But this to me is it's very crisp, it's very clean. There's such a purity here, and there's such a there isn't the noise and the static. It's you just kind of existing in this very tranquil, harmonious thing. And I see harmony here, I see tranquility, I see kind of peace, silence. There isn't fighting, there isn't negative energy, there isn't any chaos. And I think this is because if you really go after what you want, you will silence this other person, and they will truly come around and respect you and love you and care for you, and things will be just fine. So I really do think things will be fine. You just really have to go after what you want, but you have to maintain a lot of integrity during this process, and I think really not try to hurt or spite anyone, even if they've been pretty hard on you. And if it's for as hard as they've been on you, just kill them with kindness right now. So, don't actually kill them, but you know what I mean. So I would say just like nothing. I would say there's a message here that you can do what you want, that you clearly want to do something. It requires action. You've been working on it. You've put these wheels in motion. you very much know what you want, and I do think it's coming your way. And I want to see you in like 2 chakras, or just 2 kind of like energy or vibration. I want to see like who you are again right now, and like what you might need to work on, what kind of energy might you want to evoke to really get this happening. So right now I've got creativity. This card came up last time and I really shuffled these things. So I would say right now you're buzzing with creativity. You just probably want to like, you're about ready to pop. There's so much you want to do. You're so ready. And that's exciting. That's great. I kind of feel literally this buzz of energy coming off you. But let's work on this a little bit. This is isolation. And it's funny because, again, the isolation is, it reminds me of the purity and the snow. And it is just this, it is a card to me of like quieting everything, taking a step back, not being combative, not being, just really almost not engaging, and really, really, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it the right way. You're going to do it quietly. You're going to do it with grace. You're going to not involve others. There's, I could think of like the Hermit card in tarot when I see this isolation, and there's such an element of like stillness here, and there isn't color. It is just very gray. And it's funny how it goes with the snow, because these aren't exciting cards, like you don't get the card of isolation and be like, ooh, can't wait. Like, yes, I'm headed there. But there is a stillness there, and there's a quiet, and there's a peace, and it's your time to create. And if you are like feeling all these different sensations, and like I said, that kind of that electric buzzing around you, it can be very taxing. And if you've been there for too long, you can only handle so much of that. And I think where you're headed, it'll be really nice to just be able to chill a little bit. And so, yeah, I think what's holding you back are other people and all the chaos that surrounds whatever it is you want to do. But you can quiet that chaos. You can put a lot of stillness into your life. Just, I think taking a step back, doing the right thing, being very kind and gracious, and handling every situation with grace, and just knowing that people love and care about you. And I think you will absolutely get to where you want to be and do what you want to do. So let me know if this doesn't track. That I'm okay with that, but I would absolutely love to hear if it does. And yeah, any input, any comment, like, subscribe, anything like that is so greatly appreciated. So hope you liked this, and hope you do what it is you want to do. So great. I'll see you again. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. It's always an honor. So thank you. We are reading for what is holding you back, and we're going to find out in what part of your life you're being held back. Is it love, work, career, relationships, friends? Who knows? This is malachite. It doesn't look real. It's like, I don't know, like an Easter egg swirly thing. But it's your reading. So, okay, malachite, what is holding you back? I want to just see 3 cards. Ask the question, what is holding you back? So we've got justice. I can work with that. Death. These 2 cards came up in the last reading, and I shuffled the hell out of this. And the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, I love the 10 of Pentacles. This is the pinnacle of the pentacles, which tells me that things are going right in your life. I always say when the death card comes up that it has absolutely nothing to do with death. It's just not how I read. So it never under any context has to do with death. It does have to do with like endings, pain, suffering. Okay, so I do think I see this very much being a decision with work, and I feel like you probably want to, I would say that like, oh my God, I just yelled that so loud. I would say that you want to like change or switch up some kind of profession that you're in. You want to do something new, and I have a feeling what you're doing now is bringing in a decent amount of money, or you're, whether you are like absolutely killing it financially or you just have everything you need, whatever, you're doing fine. And I think, so what's holding you back is probably this absolute fear, which is the death card, this fear that like you will be without, that your life will not take on the sort of beauty and grandeur that it does have right now. And let's find out a little bit more about this, but, you are going to have to approach this pretty judiciously, because I have a feeling there are other things at stake here. You know, you might have animals or kids or a family or a husband, a spouse, whatever, that you would have to, that would be potentially affected by this decision. So I have a feeling that is what's holding you back. Okay, so let's see a little bit more about what's holding you back. So we've got Queen of Cups, Three of Swords, and the King of Cups. Okay, so there is something emotional about this, and I do think that others would feel slightly almost betrayed by this decision. And it's funny, you know, we've got the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. So I don't know. I do feel like there's a spousal vibe here, or someone that you've been in a relationship for a while, someone that you're close to. You guys are both, it's going to affect things. There's very much going to be, yeah. And I mean, this line here is absolutely aligned to tell me, like, perhaps something has happened in your relationship. And almost to take this reading in a slightly new direction, because this is now, I'm seeing another very clear message here. I could say that, like, you had a relationship implode. There was heartbreak. It was ugly. It was unfortunate. This is the death of the love, of the relationship, of the trust. And now you really want to go in and do whatever it is on your own, something different, something's happened with you, okay? And now I don't know if you just want to leave something. Something's happened. I still stand by the fact that I think you have the money. I think you have to be very careful with this decision. I do think it affects others, but I think this is what you need to do for you and your sanity. But as far as what's holding you back, I don't quite know. I think it is just it's an overly emotional situation. It is a very much like this is uncharted territory for you. What would you do if you left? What would it even look like? And yeah, what would you be sacrificing? What kind of material possessions would you lose? What would your life look like? I think you don't know what your life would look like. And I want to find out just a little bit more about what is holding you back. What it is you want. Okay. 9 of Wands, Page of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So the 9 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles, these are, I mean, they're hard cards. The 9 of Wands is like resilience. Like, you've been through something. You've really been through it. You probably don't want to go through anything else. And this is a card of lack. And to see it like kind of like juxtaposed with the card of, you know, all the beauty and grandeur and splendor of the Pentacles, which is the 10 of the Pentacles, to see the 5, this is really that card of like not having and the card of having. And I feel like you're in a situation where you have everything you want financially, materialistically, and now you feel like you need to get out of this situation because there was some kind of betrayal or heartbreak. Something has ended, something has died, something has passed along or passed, and now you really need to do you and figure you out. But it is not going to be easy, and I do think you are at the beginning stages right now of just exploring yourself and finding yourself. And I don't know that you have stepped actually out of this relationship completely, or maybe you're still holding on to a piece of it for some of these gains that you're getting. But I think like, what is holding you back from leaving entirely? It might be the thing. And I do think it is a fear of the unknown and a fear of not having, the financial support, the backing, the money, the trappings that were very, very, very appealing. I want to get some guidance from Spirit for you and I just want to help see the situation a little more clearly. But this is guidance from Spirit. So we have the 6 of Swords, lots of swords. We have the 4 of Swords and the King of Wands. So the 6 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, the 6 of Swords is like this, like bright horizons. You can't tell by these cards. You can't tell anything by these cards except for like maybe death and like justice. But the 6 of Swords is a card of like new beginnings. Like there's a rainbow at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. Or a light at the end of the tunnel, or yeah, a rainbow, whatever. But this is like, if you make the decision to move on, to move forward, to do something differently, start fresh, you will be happier because of it. You will be more at ease. And you know, the Four of Swords is a card of like rest and respite and recovery and like getting over whatever little like ailment or illness or thing that's troubling you or plaguing you. Like this is you getting your energy back, getting back to you, getting back to center. And I think that if you do leave this situation, you're going to get like all your fire. It's all going to come to you. It's going to be better. But there is something that tells me you really need to step away completely. And there are many different ways I feel like I can read these first two cards, and I can interpret it as like maybe you have like a very overbearing family and your family's hurt you and you need to step out of your family shadow, or maybe you were in a relationship and you know and there was heartbreak and deceit, and now that relationship is not what you thought it was, and it's, you know, every part of that has basically died and gone away, and now you're trying to like, you know, rebuild. So there's different ways of looking at this, but I really do think that you are being very, you're treating this like very analytically, very professionally. You aren't being hasty or crazy. You just seem very, very balanced, and like you know exactly what you're feeling. You know exactly what you need to do for you. And I think you're working towards this. There's just this little piece, like the final piece that you haven't quite done yet. And whatever that is, I think you are being held back by the fear of not having the resources that you once had. But I do think if you do this, if you step away completely, if you do if you leave whatever it is that needs to be left, that yes, there will be like a bright lining ahead. And I think that you're going to find just the rest and the recovery and the stillness that you really need. And you're going to get like your mojo back. You're going to be very much like this all empowered. I feel like the work, the action, it's all going to be there. You're going to be busy. You're going to be like, your days are going to be full. You're going to have purpose. And with that is going to come the rewards of all that hard work and output of energy. And I just think things are going to be very good for you. But you do have to, whatever's holding you back from leaving, you do have to leave. Okay, so let me say goodbye, or let the end of this play out. Like, don't fight the ending. Like, let it play out. Okay. I want to get a read on you right now. What are you feeling right now? So we've got the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. It's funny because there's some readings where I can just tell there's a lack of something. Like, there's no romance in this reading. There really isn't any fun in this reading. This isn't like, I'm just getting like, you're at this point in your life where you're just very like, I think you're stressed. I think you're wanting like this cycle to end. You're wanting something new, but it's up to you to do it. And it's something you don't really want to do, even though you know you have to. Like, it's not really a fun time for you. This isn't a fun layout in front of me, and I don't love it. And then the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. Like, the Four of Pentacles is a card of saving, of scrimping and saving. It's much, we had the Five of Pentacles here, and this is a card of lack and being without. And I already said these are kind of like your fears of being without, because I really think you have things now. But the Four of Pentacles is this card to say, yes, things are going to change. There's going to be saving. There's going to be, rubbing two nickels together. Like, you're very much, things are going to look very different. But there is this new freshness that would be coming your way. And it is just, it's new thoughts, it's new beginnings, it's new energy. And it is the beginning of like a little bit of emotion. You're going to get these emotions back. They're going to start coming back to you. And there's passion and energy that will be entering your life. It's just not here right now, because you are being held back. And this green kind of like diseased looking stone, I don't know, maybe that's why you picked it. It just looks kind of sickly, but it is really also very beautiful and very intriguing and interesting. But like, I just feel like this is kind of you. Like, you're just this sickly little glob of goop right now, and you aren't going to be here for long. You're going to get unstuck. You're going to do your thing. You have to. But that's the reading that I'm getting right now. I'm going to get some more cards. So sorry if you picked this and this is so totally not who you are. These readings, the 3 that I've done, including this one today, they're like so specific, and it's okay if they aren't you. Other readings will be, I promise. This is just, this is an odd duck of a reading. But if it is you, then hey, it's you. And you're going to be fine. Let's see you right now. And I want to see you once you kind of move on and set someone free. So, okay, right now, your mystery, your dark matter. And I think you're being stifled. I think you're being quieted. I think you're being, what you have to do. And there's kind of this energy and this goodness around you. I think you have the resources. I think you have people that love you. I think there are people protecting you and caring for you, but you're just so stuck right now, and you have to get unstuck, and hence you are being held back. You're holding yourself back. I don't think you will for long, but once you get out of that and you set yourself free and you acknowledge or give into these fears, which aren't even going to be half as bad as you're imagining, you are going to feel very much at home. You're going to feel at peace. You're going to feel empowered. I think you're going to see truly a lot of abundance coming your way. I really do feel that. I think you are someone that knows how to make money, save money, make money from money. I think you have a lot of potential, and maybe you've kind of lost that in the last, I don't know, months or years or decades. I don't know, but I definitely get the feeling that you are very, very capable. And there's this kind of earthy, beautiful energy to you. And if we're talking about abundance and even the potential of love, I think you can create both of these things, and it's there for you. So it's just a matter of you kind of doing it and just, taking that step and not allowing yourself to be held back anymore. Let's get some of your chakra energies or your vibrational holdings for the moment, seeing where you're at. Okay, so I want to see vibrationally where you're at and what you're doing well, and then what you need to work on. So, okay, so space is where you're at. What are you doing well? Surrender. And what do you need to work on? Rejection. So, it's funny, in the space and the dark matter card are very much I don't know, they look similar, but they kind of hold a slightly different message. But I think you are starting to alienate. You're starting to give distance. You're starting to create this kind of this void. You are starting it. You haven't jumped in fully, but just being here, asking this question and opening this up to the, to spirit is very much the beginning. And you will create the space to do this mentally, physically, you will do this. So, I like this. And this also tells me too, you're taking care of you. You're not talking to 50 million friends about this. You're not posting about this, excuse me, on a social media kind of way. You're not getting the opinion of everyone that walks by. You really are sitting with this and really seeing how it feels, because it's a big decision and there's a lot to think about, and you know what you need to do, but doing it is a whole different thing. And surrender is something that I do think you're working on, and you're doing quite well. You are kind of surrendering to this. I think it's your reality, your current, your past, your present, and your future. I think you're accepting all of these pieces, what got you here, why you're here, what you need to do, where you want to be. You're seeing things a lot more wholly, and I just think you're opening yourself up to these. Maybe there was a time where you kind of let the wool be pulled over your eyes, and I just don't think that's the case anymore. So good for you. You do feel like you're very, very strong. There's a lot of strength here. So I love that. And the rejection is the one piece that I would say if you need to work on something. And for me, the rejection is this kind of I guess it's your sacral chakra. It's this orange energy. It's very much this, I guess the rejection piece could have a lot to do with anything sexual or romantic, maybe the fear of not having that, or not having that being received or given or taken, but something to do with your sacral chakra, which is a lot of your happiness, your passion, your wants, your needs, your desires. They're all kind of pent up here, and you probably are afraid of not having that, and probably being without that, but it won't be forever. So yeah, I think that you can get all this back I don't know about very quickly, but it will all come to you, and it'll come to you in ways that will be quick, because it won't be doesn't have to be exactly, it doesn't have to come to you in the form of a new boyfriend next week. It can come to you in the form of some other like inspiration or life or abundance or fecundity, like something very rich and all, just nurturing for you. So I hope this makes sense. This was kind of a short reading, but I feel like it was so one-dimensional that there isn't a whole lot more to say about it. But I hope you do the right thing. I hope what you need to do for you. And if this reading does strike a chord with you or hit home at all in any way, please let me know. If not, let me know too. I want to hear all of it. So yeah, but thank you very much if you've listened this long. I appreciate it. Thank you sincerely, and I hope to see you again. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for what is holding you back, and you picked Epidote, and we are going to get into it. This is moss on a diamond to me, so it's so beautiful because it's it looks hairy. It looks like green hair on a diamond, a rough diamond. Okay, these readings before you, these piles have been so oddly unique and specific. So where we're headed, I do not know, but should be interesting. Okay, I'm going to ask right away what is holding you back, and we will get right into it. So let's just first ask what's holding you back. Definitely some kind of choice. You're not the first pile to open up with this card, so I don't think I've seen this card yet. Okay, 10 of Cups and 6 of Wands. Okay, so I don't know. Is it a choice about love? Could be. Is it a decision that could affect, I don't know, something to do with romance, love, relationships? And almost is this, so this is a card of resilience, the 9 of Wands. And it makes me think that so you're up against something that I just don't think it's been very pleasant. And the 2 of Swords is a card of choice. And it kind of denotes a choice that really it's you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's a hard decision no matter way. And it's not necessarily the outcome isn't going to be that great either way. That doesn't mean I don't want to stick on that because it's not too exciting for you. But I do think you have to make a choice, and it's a tough choice, and it's one that you don't want to make, and that is probably what is holding you back. And I think this has been weighing on you. I think you've been kind of putting this off. But then I see the 10 of Cups, and this is a very good, positive, beautiful card. This is all these family, love, romance, everything just comes trickling down in this beautiful waterfall of love and emotion, this outpouring of everything. It's such a beautiful card, and it makes me think that yes, you are very happy, things are very good, but there is something that you have to do, some duty you have to take care of. And I do think it's been weighing on you, and I just don't think you relish the thought of doing this. And I think it has something to do with the decision that, I don't know, and it seems somewhat daunting. It just seems I don't know, something has to be done, and neither of the options is that exciting or that fun, but your life is full and rich and beautiful. And I think you'd be even happier because whatever this is, if you can just get it over with, if you can stop letting yourself being held back, you'd get over this feeling of being kind of burdened and weighed down by this, and you could free yourself to move on and really enjoy all the beautiful things in your life. I want to see kind of your situation right now. So we've got the Hermit, we've got the Queen of Swords, and we have the 3 of Wands. So I do think you've been meditating on this. I think you've been thinking about it. I think you've been analyzing the situation, and I do think you've been kind of blocking yourself off, because whatever it is, this is a big thing, and it's taking a lot. It's taking a lot of thought, a lot of energy. It's quite frankly very taxing, and it's something you don't want to do. And I don't know, it's I'm trying to think of examples of things that I don't know, we don't want to do this isn't the situation for you, but it's we don't want to do our taxes because it's not fun doing taxes. It's stressful. You could owe money. But then once you do them and you get them over with, it's well, it had to be done. You had to do them, or else the penalty would be worse, right? So you have to do it. And then there's a relief, and who knows, it could even end good. But I just think that you are afraid that I don't know that there's not going to be a good ending. And I don't see that at all for you. And I see here that like things are really good. I think they're better than you even realize. Like you're allowing yourself to be kind of overcome with this like analytical, like you're over analyzing things. And you're just giving it a little, almost like too much attention, when you could be putting some like positive energy and thoughts and vibrations into parts of your life that are pretty full and exciting and good. But yeah, you've been in your own head for sure. And it's time to get out of there. Time to think less about this and probably just start doing. Okay, let's see a little bit more about you and what's holding you back. So we have the Six of Swords, Six of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. Okay, I like the Two of Cups. This is very much like a love, romance, very positive, very emotional. With the Ten of Cups, I see it as being just, things are good for you. I really do think you have a very like rich, full, good life. So that makes me happy for you. I'm not worried about this thing you have to do that you're holding yourself back from. It's just more of this like, just do it. I can't even foresee what it is, because to me it doesn't look like it's that big of a deal, but whatever it is, it must be, because you're here asking about it, or you're getting a message from spirit about it. Let's put it that way. But maybe that's it. Maybe you don't even realize there is something that you're not doing. And maybe that you're here as this is Spirit's message saying like, look, that little nagging thing that you need to take care of that doesn't seem that big because your life is so good, it is really affecting your life. It is actually turning you to kind of turn away. It's causing you to be a little overly like pensive and in your head. It's time to kind of like just take care of this. And I think once you do, you're going to be happier. And maybe you don't even realize that there's like smoother waters coming up if you could just do this. But yeah, it isn't going to be fun. It's going to take something out of you. There's probably a fear here. And maybe that fear is that it could upset a relationship, that it could affect finances. There's something here that makes me think that it might upset kind of like this perfect little world you live in, which I get the feeling you might be in sort of a bubble, not in a bad way, but just in a like things are pretty good for you. So yeah, maybe you're afraid it could have an effect there, but I think just doing it, and whether consciously or subconsciously, you've thought about it quite a bit. So you know there's this nagging little thing you have to do and handle. And I'm trying to think of like what an example of this could be. And I have an example, but I don't want to throw it out there because it's like kind of deep. But that's, without saying what that example is, and I don't even think anyone can guess. It's so kind of specific to me personally, but like it's one of those things that once you do it, you'll be so much happier you did it, but it isn't fun to do and it is hard to do. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just doing it, but you enjoy your life. And once it's done, it's done. You don't think about it. You don't ever even think about it. So yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for you. And I just see for you, yeah, I think you are someone, you're very much in control of who you are. You're kind of like, I don't know necessarily if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, I think you've been in it for a while. I don't think you're in like a new relationship necessarily. I kind of get the feeling that you're doing your thing right now. And if you are in a relationship, then it's like you've been there and things are just like ho-humming along and things are fine. But I think you're going to be fine. And it's almost like what you need to do is, maybe it has something to do with your health. Like maybe it's a trip to the doctor's office or the dentist or something like that. Just this, what is holding you back from taking care of you? Because it really is something to do to take care of you. And you've always been in so much control of your path and your destiny and your life and the decisions you make. So it's funny that like something seemingly so small would actually hold you back. But once you do this thing, you'll be great for it. And yeah, I think you're someone who works very hard and things don't usually get to you the way this has. So it's almost not comical, but that you would be here watching this reading for advice when really it's like, oh my God, look at everything you have. Look at your family. Look at the people around you. Look at, the life you've made for yourself. Just handle this one little aspect of your life. And I really think that's the message here. You have a lot of like beauty and abundance and goodness around you. You're surrounded by it. So yeah, just whatever this one little thing you have to handle is. And so we've got the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and this is like, there is a bit of a juggling act here for you. You have been kind of grappling with this, and there is this choice, this sort of inner duality, this duel, these opposing forces, and it's made you, I just think you're always thinking about this at this point. It's kind of overcome your everyday being. This little thing has gotten out of control and you just need to handle it. And I do think there's essentially a fear holding you back, but once you tackle this, it's done. And I really can't stress that enough. And I almost could stop the reading here because I'm going to say that what's holding you back is a fear of the unknown. And that fear of the unknown will go away once you handle this one thing. And you will feel very much, you'll feel stronger. You'll feel like this fog has lifted the second you do whatever this is. And I don't know, it could be doing your taxes. It could be taking care of some health thing. It could be something to do with like, I don't know, maybe you haven't looked at your bank account for 2 months because you're terrified, or I don't know, maybe you've got debt and you don't know how much your debt is, or like just something like that. But it's something that you absolutely will handle and do. And I just don't think you're ever going to let something like that consume you in quite this way that it has ever again. And I am going to stop the reading here because I feel myself like saying the same thing over and over. And when I do that, it's kind of a message to me that like this message has, I've made my point. But anyway, let me see you right now though. I will get a card to highlight you. And then I want a card to highlight who you're going to be once you do this thing that you need to do. So right now, you're the equator and making things equal. And I think that maybe for other people, you're always there. People can always count on you. You would never let anyone down. You're fair, you're good, you're honest. And I just think that no one would ever think that you wouldn't handle every aspect of your life this way. So it's kind of crazy that there is something that's kind of consuming you so much. But I do think that I just think you're a good person, and I think you're balanced, and however you got yourself into this mess, you're going to be fine. It's not even a mess. It's like a little thing. It's just a little, nick, that you're dealing with. But yes, you are not out of control or you're balanced. Oh my goodness. Let me just leave it there. And then once you do this, it's joy, it's music. You're going to feel such sweet relief. You're going to be so happy. You're going to shout from the rooftops. You're going to get your groove back. Like you are very much going to be in a state of bliss and joy. So really handle what you need to do. And I can't tell you like the goodness that is going to come to you, and just the gratitude you're going to feel for that. And that's the message from Spirit. So it's almost, I don't know what is holding you back. It's that fear of the unknown, I think. And then the fear that goes along with that, or the consequences or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal for you at all. And once you do it, you're going to laugh that you ever even like consulted tarot about it. Although I'm glad you did. And I think there's a reason for that too. But, yeah, do what you need to do, handle your business, and come back for another reading. It'll be good, I promise. All right, thank you so much. Goodbye.